All right, Scoob. So check it out. I'm gonna try to keep this as simple as possible. You see, we have our cycle of fifths here. We got our keyboard right here. Sorry about that. And we got our keyboard right there. And I got reason already pulled up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of show you. I'm sorry, man. This thing is acting weird on me. Sorry about that, bro. It's just sliding. It's just sliding down, back and forth. Like, what the heck is y'all doing? Crazy. What is it? This here? Norton? What is that? All right. Anyway, so what we were just discussing, F, E minor, and A. Okay. So I'm gonna show you a few ways that, for example, here I'm gonna go to my layout and I'm gonna show you how to change up these scales here. So we got functions. If I click that, I don't recognize none of this, so I don't use it, right? I go back to layers and then I go to unlimited. Now I just had you click, I think, maximum or something like that. But when I hit unlimited, all these chords pop up. Now the reason why these chords is important to me, because these are typically the chords that we use when we're producing our style of music. So we're always messing with like the F major sevens. You know what I'm saying? Let me kind of slide this a little so you can see the keyboard. So we're always messing with like the A major sevens, and then the E augmented 7 sharp fifths, and then the A minor 7. You know, M9. Now I normally pick these because it has a more musical sound. Remember how you were saying I want my stuff to sound musical. So if you know the cycle of fifths and you already know that if you watch the videos and you're able to understand that the way the progression work, the cycle progression work, it's always, to make a long story short, you want it to go from 5 to 1. Very simple. So so you always, or augment it. You see that, and you know that because we got the tension in this 5 here. Now, sometime when you want to get more advanced, you can actually go to a sharp 7, you know. You see, because you hear that tension there. So usually 5 or 7, even more, got the chords or the tension, the most tension that's going to always pull is, you know, your 1 is always going to pull. You know, it's going to pull from 5 or 7. You see, you're going to always hear like that, like it's supposed to go somewhere, right? Now that's because, and the reason why I select these augmented or diminished, so you always want to try to remember, I'm going to pause this real quick and I'm going to type this up for you because I want you to always remember this. So you always want to remember that when you on your 5 or you on your 7 and you're in a particular key, you always want to select either an augmented chord or a diminished chord. Oops, what's going on with that? Get normal. Boom. You always want to have either augmented or a diminished chord, because these chords, that's your 5 to 1, but they're always going to have the most tension. They're going to have the most tension, right? The other chords is not going to have that amount of tension. And you're going to always, so the tension causes for something called, look at how fancy the words look. The tension, and always remember this, even if you got to print this up, the tension is always going to cause you to want what's called a resolution. Now you might already know this information. I'm just running this by you again just to kind of lock it down, right? Just kind of lock it down. So you want to, when you're on your 5th or you on your 7th note, or you know, or your sharp 7th, you always want to select either an augmented chord or a diminished chord. And that the reason why is because they have the most tension in it. The notes that's in those chords out of that particular key is going to have the most tension. And the tension is always going to want to be pulled to a resolution, or your resolution always going to want to deviate or go away from the tension, right? So that's why I called a session Find Your Way Home, or Find Your Way Home. So when you're hitting these notes, you always want to, you hear that? It's that tension, it's that sweet tension though, because you know you want to go home in peace. And you can do a 6, and then this, or augment it. You hear that? Can't you hear that you want to resolve it? See? So the tension is the tension notes. Now I'm gonna give you an example. We can hit another note in here. We can say like a M11, right? Or M minor 9. It can go to 1, but it don't have that same pull as like an augmented. You see that? More dramatic. So with that being said, to keep it real simple, we can hit any notes around here. You know what I'm saying? We can hit the 7. We can go down to the 6. We can go down to the 2, and then 5, then 1. You hear that? Okay. So now that I've helped you to understand that, which you really already knew, but you just want to drive the point home. So we're going to do a simple thing here. We're going to pull up the 6, and I'm going to put it in the palette. Then we're going to drop to the E augmented 7 sharp 5th, right? And then we're going to drop to the 1 here. And I always like to use the A minor 7 M9, right? Okay. Now that's that progression. Now let's do something like pick another key. Let's pick a that was key A minor. We're gonna pick a B flat minor, right? Same exact concept apply. You can do this time we're not gonna start at 6. We're gonna start at like 3, and then 2, and then F augmented 7, and then B flat. You know, take it to the 1. You see that? You hear that? Don't it all make sense? Look, we can start off at 4, then drop to C minor 2. I always like to use the M7 suspended 4ths because they really have the most color to it. Like all of the other ones don't have color. And remember how we use diminish. We really don't use diminish in middle of chords unless there's a reason for it. So we'll start back again. I can show you how to diminish sound. That sound okay, but you know, it's up to you. Actually, that sounded pretty good. But so we say 4. See how that's working? 5 1. Always going back to 5 1. We can even say 4. Bounce up here to the 6, and then go over here to the A augmented or diminished 7. You hear that? See how beautiful? All right, so we're gonna pick those two. So we'll say 4. This is another progression. Then we'll do a 6. So and then we do the did I put that up? Okay, let me pull that up. Then we do a diminished 7. And then we do a B flat M7. I always like to use M9 because I have the most color, and it's not too much. It's not too less. It's not too much. All right. So we got 2 chord progressions going on. We got this. Now I want you to pay attention to something real quick. This is how that sound like Secret Society. It's a secret society. Rihanna and my man Kendrick Lamar. But anyway, loyalty anyway, that's what it's called. But so we look at the root. And I'm gonna show you how I funk around with that and make something real simple sound like crazy retarded. You know what I'm saying? Just from the simple science of it. You know what I mean? And then we had this progression. And then let's pay attention to the root. So that's the bass. You see that? See, okay, so now what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna just save it. I'm gonna export that as a standard MIDI file. And I'm gonna probably have to clean it up, but I'm gonna call this student MIDI. Student MIDI. And oops, sorry. And we're gonna save it somewhere where I can find it. So let's see. All right, we'll just put it anywhere, or desktop. I'll save it on desktop. All right, student MIDI. All right, you can shut up here. Something going on. What's happening? Okay, good. All right, and I'm gonna just pull it up on a track that I'm already working with because I got some sounds on there already kind of kicking. So got the EQ and everything. So I'm going to import. So let me find import MIDI. Where you at? So we got to wait on that. All right, and there we go. There, student MIDI, and I guess I'll just import. I don't know where it's going to end up. Where you at? Where you at? Down here somewhere. All right, and so I'm gonna back this up because I got some music over there. Start a new track over here. Now I got it set up to where you can use you know, your Studio One, because we're dealing with MIDI files. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm gonna show you how we're gonna work this madness.
Hi.
Okay. All right, so here we are. Okay, and all right, we'll shrink that. Look like that need to be stretched there. Okay, let's see what we got. Now it's funny because what happened was when I exported that MIDI, the bass actually added itself on its own, and I didn't even know that. But that's cool because it actually here. I'm gonna put the combinator on it so you can actually see the note that is playing. So it actually played the note for us, right? So you actually can really kind of just do that. I don't know if your thing have the ability to, you know, take the MIDI files. Oh, wait a minute. Where you at now? Hold on. Okay. So scroll that down there so you can actually see the bass note. Oh, dang. Oh, that's a combinator. You don't have a combinator. My bad. Well, the only reason I'm bringing up the combinator because I actually want to show you. I want to show you that what the roots is, the bass root. And again, we got it. Hope I'm not moving too fast. I'm starting to feel like I'm moving too fast for you. But let's pull up this keyboard again, and again we play that. You hear that? You see that? So it's C, D, E, F. It's the root. So what it did was it automatically took the root. You see that? See that note right there? Doom, doom. And then it dropped it down. C, D, E, D, E. Right there. So look at the notes. Okay, so them the other chords. So we're gonna cut them off for a minute here. Let's just slice that and dice that and move that on. So I'm gonna show you how I kind of get crazy funky with the bass, but you see that it was transferred pretty easy, and not only was it transferred easy, but it also added the bass. So if I go up here and I combine this with a combinator, and I hit that and I pull this down, you can see the chords being played here. All right, now that's kind of loud for my ear, so let's see, maybe we turn this gain stage down. Okay. Now let's just get right to this here. So since we know what the bass is, I'm gonna just remove that, but I'm gonna show you what I do. Again, we know what the root is. Let's remind ourselves real quick. Let me just take a quick look and look at my keys here and just remind myself. So it's F, E, and A. So it's C, D, E, F. Okay, so we get back to this. Oh, okay. I gotta change it. All right. All right, so what I would do, and it's probably better if I let me try to put a beat up in there, because it's better when you hear the beat doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Maybe I got a beat already made up. Let me see. I'll just take all that, copy that, paste it over here. All right, so maybe the beat is funky enough where that works. I don't know. That's good enough. All right. So here's the bass, and here's how I make it funky. First of all, I stick to simplicity. So long as I know I got my root down, and let me make sure that that's right before I get to start recording. Let's look at it again. So we say, do I know? All right, so we got our root down. We know it's there. So what I do is I just say, I'm gonna kind of just play around. I'll loop it a couple times. I'll just do some loop recordings and just kind of show you a variation of different things that I do. Now that was okay, so that was a simple version. It was supposed to erase or overdub. I don't know what it's doing. Let me see. Dub it. How do I do it? Okay. Or so anyway, when I said I hit this note, this is the middle note. So I'm always really kind of playing around with the octaves. So that's the root, that's the octave of the root. Same note. That's the secret. That's the secret sauce. You see how I'm playing it? The only other note that I'm playing out of that scale, because I could say, because this is in the scale. See that? That note is in the scale. So let's go back and look at this. And look at the scale. See that? See the scale? So, right here. This note right here. So the note that I'm playing here, that's this. And then this note. So my bass, here's my bass. I'm always playing the bass, and then the, I'm always playing the bass, and then this, like the note that's in the middle of this, of the octave of that bass. So here's the octave of the bass. Bass, octave, root, octave of that root. And then directly always in the middle, I'm playing like what's considered the fifth note. So 1, 5. And then when we go to our next chord, so I'm saying like, now, even though, this way it might get a little tricky for you, because you're probably saying, well, Terrence, okay, see, now you're throwing me off because this is not in the scale. That's in the scale, and yes, that does work. That works too. That works too. But I can't explain to you why there's no note right there. Maybe, oh, I think I know why. Okay, let me try to explain it to you. Okay, so the reason why that works, and actually I believe you asked me that question too, and I just didn't give you a good enough answer. But here, we found the answer right here. Look, this key, by us being in this key, by us being in the key of A minor, the reason why this note works is because the scale, because of the scale. So if we hit the scale, all these notes works. All these notes work. So if you say, you see that? So all these notes work. But these, no, don't work for that key. But all these notes work for that key. So you like, you see how that works? Okay, so that's the reason why, if we go back to our chord, you're like, T, you was like, and then, like, I don't see this note, T. I don't see this note right here, T. I don't see that note. Why? Well, because we're playing this chord, but this chord does not offer that note, not for this chord, right? But that don't mean that that note can't be fitted in this scale, or in that key, because we're in the key of A minor, and we changed it. So just ignore that B flat minor. We changed it. We started off with A minor, if you can remember. But anyway, that note now is there. See? So that's how that works. So with that being said, I go in here and I keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. So let me drop something. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. All right. Am I recording? Okay, so I'm gonna play some different bass lines. Okay, so we're gonna do something different this time. Okay, so I didn't even record that. Sorry about that. Okay, let me put that on loop there. Okay, so hopefully you get the picture on that one. I hope I ain't doing the most and throwing you off. But now let me show you something else, right? So now with that being said, okay, T, that's sweet, sound good, but you know what I'm saying? What's with the funky part, like the gangster part, the thug part, you know, all that? Well, the same rules applies, but you're just using different instruments now. So let's go up here and use the 808 bass that is typically used. Okay, so where are you? Let's see. Okay, so let's change the octave on that there. Okay, and let's see. So let's see what happens now. I use something like more modern sound. Okay, let's see. I'm messing up, but you get the picture. So let's see here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to get funky right now. So now I'm not going to complicate it too much, but basically what I did was, you know, I just, you know, this is an 808 bass thing just to give it that, you know, funky trap bass type sound, but I still kept it simple. So, and I just stuck with the basic rules of following the root and then just bouncing around with the root. All right, so this was only supposed to be 15 minutes. Hopefully you understand what I did and try to apply that concept with your production. Try to apply that idea, and again, keep it simple, keep it real simple. Just know the root, know that you bouncing. All you're doing is really bouncing around the root. That's really all you're doing, nothing more, right? Saying, and that's pretty much the structure there. You know what I'm saying? All right. I guess that's it. For now. But if you got any other questions, you know, hit me up. Feel free to hit me up, and you know, we'll discuss some things. But hopefully you learned something from this and understand a little bit more. Hopefully I simplified it for you as much as possible, and hopefully the program that you're using, which seemed like to me is an extremely powerful program, you know, allows you to go ahead and set that up in a way where it's not blocking your notes and things like that. If you have to, just use the MIDI files and don't put anything on it. You know what I'm saying? Just look at the chords here. You know what I'm saying? These are the notes here. You know, just look at them and be like, okay, so I know I can stay within the confines when I hit that. I can stay in the confines when I hit the other one. You know, I can stay in confines of that, and then I can stay in confines of that when I hit that. All right, that's it for today, brother. I hope you benefited and enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the new tutorials that I'm going to be posting up. Make sure you wrap this one around your belt, because it's going to be really important that you get and grasp this, especially to truly fully benefit from the new and upcoming tutorials, which is going to be pretty complicated. So sit back and enjoy what's to come, bro. All right, I'll talk to you in a minute, Scoob, and anybody else that I allow to watch this. Scoob, I'll probably just post this for a lot of other people that might need this information. All right, I'll see y'all over at todaysbeats.com.